back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. It's October's wrap-up. So I'm going to talk about all 18 books that I read in the month of October, which I'm actually very proud of. Because I thought I was slumping really bad in October, especially the week that I was off work. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to do like the 7 books in 7 days challenge. Because I had like 9 days off of work in the month of October because we have something called fall break here. And I was really excited for it. And then just like boosh, and I got 3 books read that entire week, which like isn't terrible, but I read those 3 books in one day. So it didn't seem like I was reading that much. Then I got sick, and it's just been one thing after another. I'm finally feeling better. So here's my wrap up. So the first one I want to talk about is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I am not going to talk too much about this one. I vlogged reading this with the Love Hate Challenge with Heather from Bell's Library. Yeah, I didn't really like it. I read The Maid by Nita Prose, and this wasn't a bad book. And like, I've said it a million times on my channel, but I'll say it again. I'll sound like a broken record. I don't think there's such thing as a bad book, but I had such high expectations for this book. Like, I was thinking it would reach up here, but it just didn't. It fell very flat for me. So this is a thriller. I don't even think it's much of a thriller. I think it's more of a mystery about this maid named Molly who finds one of her clients dead in the hotel room that she's the maid at. And after, she calls police, she does all the right stuff, but reading from her perspective was just a little odd. Any of the books that I don't like are going to go up on Pingo Books. The next book that I read was an ARC. It's Love, Hate, and Clickbait by Liz Bowery. I give it 3 stars. It's a male-male romance, but it follows like this guy. He's trying to be governor of California. It's very political. And I didn't really buy the hate to love aspect, and I kind of thought it was fine, I guess, but it just didn't work too well for me. Then I read the ARC, I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers. I gave it 1 star. Okay, to be fair though, I only gave it 1 star because it's a young adult thriller that didn't really feel like a thriller, for 1. Felt more like a mystery again. And for 2, there were explicit adult scenes between 2 teenagers. And I can't read that. That is, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's just, nope. Sorry, but no. I don't want to read about 14-year-olds. Nope. So that's why I gave it 1 star. I didn't like it. We are at the 3 books that I read during my fall break when I thought I was going to get a lot of reading done. So first I read Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. Absolutely hated this book. Really thought I was going to DNF the whole series. because, oh my goodness. Okay, first off, if I hear baby doll one more time, I'll murder someone. No, I probably won't. But baby doll. And the problem for me is that, like, I usually like the brother's best friend and best friend's, like, little sister type of, because it kind of feels a little taboo and, you know, everything like that. But for this one, he keeps referring to her as basically like the forbidden fruit. And like, oh no, we could never go there. I did not buy the chemistry. There was like none. And he just kept like belittling her as a person because, you know, oh, she's always gonna be my best friend's baby sister. But then in the next sentence or on the next page, oh, she looks hot in that skimpy dress that she's wearing. Or with all the skin that she's showing, it just, yeah, it didn't make sense to me. I absolutely hated this book. Might be my least favorite book of the year. Just putting it out there. But then I realized that Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey, which is the next in the companion novel series, follows Rosie and Dominic. And you follow this already established couple. Like, they're married, I think. Yes, they're high school sweethearts, best friends, madly in love, but everything isn't as picture perfect as you might think it is. And this is a trope that I found this year that I absolutely just eat it up. I love it. I think it's because I found my husband in high school, and like, we are very much high school sweethearts, best friends, sometimes worst enemies. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, you got married. You're, you know, like, that's in-game. Yes, technically, getting married is in-game, but marriage is hard. It's not always butterflies and flowers and rainbows and unicorns. It's hard. It's making hard decisions together. It's fighting so that we're on the same team. It's all the little moments and some of the like most irritating things that he does, and still staying together, still working on this marriage together. And so I just love that trope. So I did read this one. And I really, really liked it. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars, but I still loved it. And then, because I liked this one so much, I decided to read Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. And honestly, I didn't hate this one as much as Fix Her Up. I think I gave this one 3 stars. It was kind of just average, and like, I didn't care as much. I don't think I didn't even like the main character as much. Her name's Bethany, right? Something like that. But I didn't care about the main character as much, so I was just like, whatever, I just want this book to be over. I did, however, read all 3 of these in one day. Then, because I had read so much romance, I wanted change. So I wanted a young adult. I thought it was young adult horror. I think it's a young adult thriller. It's called The Companion by Katie Allender. Okay, so you follow Margaret. You follow Margaret, who the other foster kids call Lucky because she didn't die in the accident that killed her parents. And now she's getting adopted by this very rich family. And the thing is that, like, this rich family doesn't want Margaret. They just want her for sinister purposes. And as you move into this really nice mansion and you start to wonder things about some of the other children at this house and about the parents, things aren't adding up. And then when they finally do add up, it was like mind-blowing. I think I originally gave this 4 stars, but that was a couple weeks ago. This has stuck with me, so I'm gonna give it a 5-star because it's terrifying, it's eerie, it's dark, and I highly recommend it. And I listened to a few Audible originals. The first one is Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I honestly had really high hopes for this because it's the Queen, Taylor Jenkins Reid. I thought it was okay. It's just like these two people are corresponding by letter about an affair that they think their spouses are having with each other. Then I listened to Nightfall by Marissa Orda and Cynthia Baslin. This is another Audible original. This one follows this stepmom and her daughter who are going camping to kind of bond. Olivia's dad is supposed to be there, but he's a doctor and there's some kind of like emergency in the San Francisco area. So they're kind of stuck out there on their own and things get very creepy, very wild. It's very short, so I don't want to tell you anything else. But I did give it 4 stars and I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the narration. It was so good. Then I listened to 33 Unplayed Voicemails by Melissa De La Cruz. I thought this one was okay. It follows this couple that's kind of at the end of their relationship, and you get to listen through 33 unlistened to voicemails, how they fell in love and how ultimately it ended. It was okay. Then I read Accidentally Engaged by Farrah Haron by Farrah Haron. I didn't like this one. I gave it 2 stars. I just didn't feel the chemistry. It's this love story. It's also got baking, and I really enjoy romance and cooking or baking and as a subplot for romance, but in this book it just didn't work. Okay, and I'm really not excited to talk about this one because I am very much the unpopular opinion here. But I finally read The Flash Heir by Beth O'Leary and I hated it. The whole synopsis just sounds so far-fetched, so stupid. I was kind of rolling my eyes at it before I read it, so I should have known that I wouldn't have liked it. But you follow Tiff and her roommate, Tiffy and Leon. They share an apartment. Well, Tiffy moves into his apartment, but he works night shift and she works day shift, so they never meet until they do meet, and it's like they just love each other so much. And again, didn't buy the chemistry, didn't really care about the characters. And I feel like, especially with romance, I mean, you could probably say this about any genre, but romance in particular for me, if I don't care about the characters, then I'm not going to like the book. If I'm reading a thriller and I hate the main character, I'm okay with that because, like, you don't read a thriller to fall in love with the characters. But I read a romance to fall in love, to feel that connection, that spark, that chemistry, that love on the page. And if I don't even care about the characters or like them, then I'm not going to like that romance book. The next two are actually finishing off a series. Woo, 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 woo. I only own the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. The other two I own on audiobook, and I loved the series. I absolutely loved the series. So, Good Girl's Guide to Murder is 5 stars. Good Girl, Bad Blood was okay. It definitely suffers from the sequel syndrome. You know, the second book in a series syndrome. But then, As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson is another 5-star read for me. I can't really tell you what happens in those ones because, spoilers, and I'm not going to do that to you. But just know, like, murder mystery podcast elements, lots of danger, lots of adventure, and a sprinkle of romance. Then, the next one that I read this one on Kindle. I read It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, which is also helping my goal of reading more series or like finishing more series. I think this is the second book in a duet. I don't think there's any more. If I'm wrong, sorry, but this one just came out. It's a brand new release. I gave it 3 stars. Like, it was an okay book. It was fine. But to be honest with you, this book didn't need to exist. Because It Ends With Us was so perfect. But It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, it seems like just a money grab from Colleen Hoover. If it were me, if you haven't read It Starts With Us yet, just skip it. Because this one didn't need to be a series. Like, this series is pointless. Then I listened to Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I didn't realize this was a young adult romance, but I have recently read Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter, and I absolutely loved this. But this is an adult romance. So, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter is about this girl who's completely obsessed with chick flicks. Like, who isn't? All the best movies are chick flicks. Duh. But she's kind of like given up on love even though she's only in high school and like she's too young. I mean, whatever. You know, that's just my judgmental self. So shut that down right now. But it was like cute. I gave it 4 stars. It was cute. I just don't connect to young adult romance anymore and I try not to read it. But I did listen to it. It was okay. You know, I had fun with it. And the last one that I read in October is The Pretending Plot by Lauren Blakely. And it was the start of a series for me, but I absolutely hated that book too, so I'm not going to finish that series. So, for me, I like to read romance books, and there are, sexy scenes in them sometimes. But I don't like books that are all bedroom scenes and nothing else. And that's what that book was. It was just bedroom, bedroom, bedroom. There was no connection with the people. It was just all about the bedroom. And like, that works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. I feel like I was just like super negative in this book, so I'm sorry. Send me a little love so that in my next video I won't be as negative. Just put like a little heart in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video despite how negative I was. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.